banning the distribution of materials that discourage having children.
European Union Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell has urged both Israel and Hezbollah to accept a U.S.-backed truce proposal to halt their ongoing conflict.
Borrell warned that Lebanon is nearing collapse.
Israeli Rabbi Zvi Kogan, who was reported missing in Dubai last Thursday, has been found deceased, officials confirmed.
Tragically, Emirati authorities recovered Kogan's body early Sunday morning, and his family has been informed, the Hasidic Jewish movement Chabad said in a statement.
A suspect accused of killing a 20-year-old mother and her 4-month-old son in a Hartford, Connecticut drive-by shooting has been apprehended in Puerto Rico, authorities reported.
Lance Morales, 23, faces murder charges for the fatal shooting on Tuesday.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as a statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Oh, yeah, ready. Say goodbye, Al. Say goodbye, Al. Uh-oh. You gotta get damn good hotness. Wait, you got to do things. Oh no. Damn. Look how good that was. That was like
My dog is your mind's best friend.
yeah, he is your best friend. Or your mind's best friend. Or your dog's best friend. Your mother is your dog's best friend.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Groucho Marx. What?
Wake up, America.
What?
You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for coffee with the dog. You make me laugh.
Wow. Yeah. Laugh. Go ahead. I'm making you. I will make you laugh. 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 Laugh, I said. You gotta love Gene Hackman, even if you don't love me. You don't have to love me. Nobody has to love me. I'm unloved. The unforgiven unloved. Okay, good morning, freaks. You ducks, I says. Is that going to repeat itself? Let's see. Look at that. The loop thing seems to be fixed. Good morning. It is Wednesday, November 27th, 2024, the day before Thanksgiving, unless you're a turkey, and then it's the day before the final showdown, your last walk the last mile, something like that, a green mile or something, if you're a turkey. Yeah, so tomorrow's Thanksgiving. We have a show for you today, amazingly. I don't know if we're going to have a show tomorrow. I'm still thinking about it. Just like opening the doors and letting the internet just walk in. Just putting out a guest link and let whoever decides to come in tomorrow. But today, we have Carolyn Hauser, who has written a book, The Bliss Codes. About, I don't know if you know this, but I can make anyone. I don't know. It's about being happy in a relationship. And the guys in the dog pound know about that stuff. Obviously, I would not know about that stuff because I'm not happy in a relationship, out of a relationship. I'm just not a happy person. I'm just by nature. Maybe I'm happiest when I'm not happy. Think about that. I want you to think about that. And then in the second hour, we have Successful Toy, which is actually a woman. I don't know if she wants me to actually use her real name. Because all my contacts with her, which have been very limited, by the way, it's not like I'm talking to Toy all day. Successful Toy, who is a host of a podcast. I guess she talks about success and toys. Yeah. So there's that. Anyway, we have some breaking news I want to share with you. First, there is breaking news from the DB Cooper case. Yeah, do you care about the DB Cooper case? No, there is actually breaking news in the DB Cooper case. I want to share that with you here if I can.
A parachute that may be connected to infamous hijacker DB Cooper is reigniting interest in the only unsolved hijacking in U.S. aviation history. The Big Picture, a series of stories marking the 53rd anniversary last weekend of DB Cooper's infamous heist, highlights the 2022 discovery of a modified parachute on the property of former suspect. State of play. Despite years of investigation, the FBI closed the DB Cooper case in 2016, leaving it officially unsolved. Driving the news. DB Cooper sleuth and YouTuber Dan Grider found the parachute 2 years ago on a North Carolina property that belonged to the family of the late Richard McCoy, too, the Cowboy State Daily reported. McCoy, known for an almost identical heist months after Cooper's, had long been a suspect. He was later killed in a police shootout after escaping custody in 1974. His children believe their father was Cooper, per the Cowboy State Daily. Catch up quick. A man calling himself Dan Cooper hijacked a plane en route from Portland to Seattle on November 24, 1971. In exchange for $200,000 and 4 parachutes, he released the flight's 36 passengers in Seattle, directed the plane to take off again, and jumped into the night somewhere between Seattle and Portland. Bundles of ransom cash washed up along the Columbia River in 1980, but no trace of Cooper was ever found.
Yeah, so DB Cooper, it's also trending on Twitter, so that's relevant, I guess. Coincidentally, he looks like a guy who might be ready for showbiz news. That's all. With the sunglasses and all. So maybe. I don't know. Anyway, Dick Chisman, thank you for that report, Dick. Dick's got some funny hair going on. I didn't realize that when we hired him. We'll have to fire him. So I'll talk to HR about getting rid of him. In the meantime, there is other breaking news for you here that I want to play. Now, this is from the world of entertainment. I'm sorry to step on our chief entertainment correspondent, Ron Kane. Yeah, I'm sorry to step on his toes, but this is breaking news. I felt like it was worth getting this out in the open in front of you as soon as possible because it's big news. Big. Hey, look at this.
There's big news from the world of comedy.
Told you it was big news.
The comedic talent from Coffee with the Dog, to use that term very liberally, will be performing at Governor's Comedy Club on January 24th, 2025 in Levittown, New York, in the Giggle Room. This star-studded event has some comedy industry insiders scratching their heads over the odd choice to host the event in Tony Walker, a one-legged, no-talent Met fan with basically no following, to quote one of the biggest stars in comedy, Jackie the Joke Man Martling. Why they would choose the guy who thinks he invented podcasting, when the logical choice to host would be the Right Reverend Dr. Jelly Roll, is a mystery. Fans are already buying tickets for the event, which is expected to sell out in record time. The only question remaining is, with all the fruit-picking immigrants being deported, will the audience have to resort to throwing rocks instead of tomatoes? We'll keep an eye on this important show business news.
Important show businesses. Now, she seemed a little bit small. I mean, no, it didn't take up the whole screen. It's very weird. I have to talk to. No, I don't know who that was. I don't even remember hiring her. But oh yeah, big news. The 3 members of the Dog Pound will be going to the Giggle Room, not the Giggle Snatch. It's a different place. Close, right next door actually. It's Giggle Snatch, Giggle Room, in Levittown, New York, on January 24th, and I may be there. I just got news last night that my January 24th gig was canceled. or maybe moved, but it looks like it's going to be canceled, and I'll know as we get closer to the date. But if I am there, I'll be signing copies of my new book. If you think it's funny and it's not, it's G.D. Fenderson. So anyway, yeah, Tony Walker's going to be hosting. Yeah, it is an odd choice. I have no idea what made him think to get Tony Walker to host that fuking thing. I don't know. Anyway, we are sponsored today by Daily High Club, and listen, I should take my own advice and get high daily. So you know what, you should too. Just the links in the description. Smoke them if you got them, is what they say.
With humble East Coast beginnings in 2015, Daily High Club is the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and consumption accessories. If you're looking to elevate your smoking game to the next level, you're in the right place. With over 1 million top-quality smoking products sold, and with a growing base of over 10,000 monthly subscribers worldwide, we deliver the ultimate smoking experience. But Daily High Club is not just a retailer, we're lovers of the smoking scene ourselves, working with giants like Tommy Chong, Snoop Dogg, Chanel West Coast, and more. Ready to join the Daily High Club? Let our experts curate your collection with our awesome El Primo monthly subscription box, or grab one of our fun and unique pieces from our smoke shop. Click the link in the description below this video to get this party started now.
Oh my fucking god.
Well, get it started now. Get it all. Look at that. Things just came up in the right order for once, which is very odd. Speaking of governors, I just wanted, before I say hello to these guys, my good friend Chris Monty is at Governor's tonight for a pre-turkey giggle. I don't know. Anyway, in the room with me now I don't know if you could tell this, but Ron, I already know about Bliss. I don't need your Bliss book. Kane, Stephen, can't even spell Bliss Ortiz, and my best friend of the last. Since 1970, when we both jumped out of a plane, Mr. G.D. Cooperson. G.D. Cooperson, good morning.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. Have you not been hitting your Bliss code because you are not having because you're not having a successful toy interaction? Well, as we say in real estate and business, location, location, location. Try a little to the left or the right. MindDogTV.com.
Oh, gee, spot.
Enjoy, support the local mercenaries and enjoy this offering.
What just happened to Steven there? Did you see that? I don't know if that was Tourette's or what it was. Something weird. I have not slept myself. I don't know. I was surprised because I don't know, something in my retarded mind just said, you should do something about D.B. Cooper. And I put that stupid thing together there. And then this morning, D.B. Cooper is trending, and that story is everywhere. It's like, nobody cares about D.B. Cooper. I just liked it because with his sunglasses, he looked like he was ready for showbiz news.
I thought that guy was, that AI guy was stroking out the entire time.
Yeah. You know what? I canceled that 3 or 4 days ago. I canceled that AI news thing. And because nothing was rendering out, and I said to the guy, I want a refund. This software doesn't work. Can you be more specific about why you're canceling? I said, because it doesn't fucking work. So he said, try again. It'll work. And I tried again, and it didn't work. And I said, I want a refund. Well, why? I said, because it doesn't fucking work. And then he gave me a refund. And then I tried it last night, and it worked. So there you go.
Oh, hey, speaking of successful toy and AI.
Successful toy is one that can vibrate my whole house. I'm talking a demolition of this fish farm. I'm going to flood this valley.
If you could take the background out of it and make it look like she's sitting on my lap, that would be much. Not that
I could easily do that.
You could do that. All right, well, do that. That would be the closest I've gotten to actually having a woman on my lap. And I don't know if you know this about me, but it's been a long time.
But Matt doesn't have a lap. The guy that did the news, Dick Gisman.
Dick Gisman.
I really liked his alpha male hairstyle. I really was digging
He
it.
did. I was confused by it because it looked like I don't know, like it was reaching for the stars.
Yeah, that's alpha male. You reach for what you cannot attain. That's typical alpha male style.
I don't know if you know this about me, but I don't know if you know this about me.
Finish inside me.
Yeah. So, you guys ready for the big bliss? The big bliss celebration here, learning about how to create bliss. You guys know about bliss. I'm the only one who
excited, man. Call me a blister. I'm about to pop. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you know this about me, but I can make any woman come just by looking at her. I don't know. I got a magic tongue. I prefer it. I learned about it in prison. I don't know. I think, because I don't want to say that, because we're on a roll with scaring people away. So I want to say this before she gets in the green room there. I think the key to bliss is making a woman come. I mean, that's the key to a happy marriage. If you can make her come, yeah.
Or a good shoe sale. A good shoe sale will also do that.
Okay. See, you lost me at shoe sales.
Nope. What?
God's coming for you.
I'm all confused.
That's a huge load. I hope not.
I don't know if you know this about me, but I don't know what the fuck we're talking about anymore.
Are you a retard?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I wouldn't know because I'm not that smart.
I'm a little retarded, okay? Maybe I'm acoustic, maybe I'm
So,
retarded. I don't know.
I'm just like trying to figure out what the hell might have got you guys to choose Tony Walker as a host for this thing when the Rev was available. It just seems like a dumb choice. What Tony
Rev
Walker
said
over
he
there?
was going on some island getaway somewhere.
Huh? Aren't you all going to be on an island getaway somewhere?
He said he wanted to go somewhere warm, I think is what he was talking about. I don't know.
He
He
is
was
going
yelling in
to
the
hell.
background.
He is going to hell.
Me and GD were on the phone, and Rev was in the background causing nonsense. And it was quite annoying. I actually had to hang up with GD and be like, dude, just call me when Rev's asleep because this is terrible.
You know, when I finished talking to you, as soon as I finished talking to you, I called my wife, and the phone reception was absolutely clear, perfect. There was none of that garble stuff that we had before.
So it's probably on Steven's
They
end.
have bad signals. What happened? That dude's a dick.
As soon as I hung up with you, I called my wife immediately, and she goes, I said, how do I sound? She goes, great. And I said, I just finished talking to Steven, and it sounded like garbage. And she goes, well, that's Steven for you. No, she didn't say it. No, she.
Human garbage.
I'm a big garbage bag.
Yeah, that's what she said with her main accent. She goes, garbage. Yeah.
Big garbage bag.
I'm
coming for you. Garbage.
Yeah, that's Steven. He's garbage. That's what my wife said was her main accent. She talks like that all the time. She has a very thick main accent. I have no idea what she's saying half the time, which is why she has to throw things at me to clarify her point. It's like,
well, it's hard to clarify the point when you can't tell the difference between her car keys and her khakis. So, you know,
khakis.
Well, if she can find them their khakis, if she can't find them their car keys. No.
I forgot how to do this. Can you remember? Do I remember how to do this? Carolyn Hauser says she's in the green room. Now she's not in the green room, so all I can imagine is that I must have sent her
the link for the wrong show.
Yeah, he's probably on yesterday's show with that guy who ran away. You guys talk about DB Cooper while I send her the right link.
That's what I call schlong division.
That's actually how he decided. That's actually the kind of math he used to figure out how much money he could carry while still using the parachute effectively.
Well, let me just say,
four shoots, right?
The evidence. Remember 2 or 3 days ago, GD was talking about $2 million. The $6 million was significant. The 0.2 meant nothing. It just so happens that $0.2 million is what was found floating in that river. Is that a coincidence? A guy who just dismisses $200,000 like it's nothing, and then 200,000. He looks exactly like. I think you'll agree. He looks exactly like the composite drawings, right?
Now, just for the record, I don't have a river near my house, so it does me no good for that much money to roll. Now, if you said it rolled up in a cornfield, okay, I could find that next to my house. Apple orchard, sure. Yeah.
Well, this was in North Carolina in a river, right? That's where it was. It was in a river. The money, or river bank or something. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, that's why they call it a river bank. It's because river bank because it's where you deposit.
You deposit your hijacking money. That's why it's a river bank. Exactly.
All right. So that
I
was
haven't made a deposit on a beach since high school.
What was it? 54 years ago, right? When he jumped out of the plane. And it was this. They
2 years ago when he landed.
Yeah, right. he asked for four parachutes for one guy, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, why would you ask for four parachutes?
For the money. Each pile of money gets its own parachute.
Almost maybe,
but he jumped.
Makes you wonder if he was going to throw people off the plane to throw off the authorities, like have 3 other people jump off at random spots, then he goes.
Oh, but he didn't do that.
Yeah, because he didn't do that. Yeah, because he let go of all the
It's true,
people.
He did. Yeah,
so the only people left on the plane were the pilots, unless he was going to make the pilots go jump one by one, and then who'd fly the plane?
It's super interesting, and every person that's come forward claiming to be DB Cooper on their deathbeds or whatever, all look like the drawing. So it's really
it
convincing.
wouldn't make sense if there was some Asian guy saying it. I'm DB Cooper. No,
it really wasn't DB. That's a whole misnomer too. A guy signed the sheet Dan Cooper. I don't know where they got DB.
Well, it's like Ellis Island. People sign their correct name and then they just say, "Well, this is what it looks like to me."
So yeah, but the FBI closed the case when this guy Richard McCoy or whatever, the real McCoy, that guy died. They closed the case, and now they're reopening again. It's like, well, nobody cares. But there was a Netflix, I Am DB Cooper. I don't know if you guys know everything that's on Netflix. You don't know that one?
I've seen it.
I thought that was a To Tell the Truth episode where 3 guys walk out and goes, I'm DB Cooper. I'm DB Cooper. I'm DB Cooper.
So do you feel safer now that somebody else is taking the fall for your crime?
Well, let's put it this way: 1 crime down, 4 to go. So,
wait.
Okay.
So a white guy's taking credit for your crimes. So it's another dude taking black jobs.
Yes, another person stealing another black job.
All right. Well, our guest is here. You want to learn about how to make women happy, because it's really. I
usually leave the room to make women happy.
That's me too. I leave the state generally, but
that's also to avoid prosecution. So
I'm a big believer in the old adage. Is it an adage? Is that the right word I'm using here?
Maybe
that
depends on how you finish the sentence.
It could be a subtractive as well.
Happy wife, happy life. It doesn't all you have to do is make the woman happy, and then the couple is happy. Do you agree? If the woman is happy, the marriage is a happy.
Unless the man is a miserable curmudgeon, and nothing makes him happy, then no matter how happy she is, he's going to be more unhappy that she's so happy.
Why didn't you tell me that like 50 years ago?
He's going to say, "Why are you so happy? What makes you so happy?" She says, "Because all the bills are paid and nothing is due. There's food, there's a refrigerator, everything is wonderful. The cars are paid off." You'd be like, "Yeah, but something's going to break. I know it."
You could have said that before we jumped out of the plane, and that would have saved me.
Before you pushed me out the plane and then tried to.
That would have saved me 9 divorces.
Tried talking you out of it on the way down.
Yeah,
8
pushed me out the plane and he jumps and goes like, "Maybe we should have thought this out better."
Yeah.
Pull the cord.
Well, I could have used the money too. I mean that $200,000 would have paid for a few of the divorce attorneys along the way. So yeah. So let's move on. Let's get to our guest here, our first guest today. And she hasn't run away yet. You know, she's braver than all these guys who run away. They hear us talk and they say, "I don't want to be part of these knucklehead programs."
She's got that alpha male energy.
Yeah. People are asking what's going on with that because it does. It's hard. Yesterday, I reached out to that guy and he didn't give me any. I just said, no hard feelings. I don't know what was it. What was it? The thing. What did I say that scared you away? Nothing. He doesn't even want to comment on it. So let's get along here. Carolyn Hauser is an author of The Bliss Codes: How to Create and Sustain Sacred Union Love. It's a self-help book or help each other book, right? That's what it's more than just a self-help book. The Bliss Codes is it shares a profound journey from relationship turmoil to transformative fulfillment. She's here now, ladies and gentlemen. Let me change. Good morning, Carolyn.
Good morning.
I have to change the layout here, don't I? No, that's not right. What's going on here?
What's happening?
You guys did something to my
help.
There you go. That's better. Kind of better.
Hey.
All right. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Do you agree with my assessment that happy wife, happy life? That if the woman and I'm talking heterosexual relationships here, of course. If the woman is happy, the marriage is happy.
Yes, and I would say vice versa too, right? It takes two to tango.
Well, so you if
four, because you may have one to watch and one to run the camera. Sure, I get your point.
You do explain that to me. No, I don't know, because look, these guys are all in happy long-term relationships. Look at them all. They look not Ron. Does he look like a happy man? But he's in a happy marriage because his wife is happy. But he's just like a curmudgeon wannabe. He's like he wants to be me when he grows up.
Ron is curmudgeon light.
Don't put that on me.
All right, you're not going to grow up. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
His hands were soft and supple.
That's what I mean. But so men are generally curmudgeonly, I think, or they grow into curmudgeon. As every day passes, we become a little more curmudgeonly. So I don't know that
unless you have the practice that we have of bliss bonding, right? That the Bliss Codes is all about, because it will actually make the man also very, very happy.
All right. Is any of this sexual?
Yeah, to some extent, but yes, I mean it has to do with sexuality because let's face it, right? What makes us happy?
Yeah. Well, here's where, and this is where it's going to get juicy, folks. This is where the ratings come from. I had several relationships in my life where women did not know how to. They never taught themselves how to reach orgasm. They just didn't know, and it wasn't important to them. They grew up with the very old, because I'm 170 years old. They grew up with a very old school attitude that it wasn't essential for women. It was more important for men to do that. But they were like me. They were curmudgeons at a very young age. So that's a big part of it is understanding. But on that note, I think a woman has to know her own body first and know what pleases her. Like a lot of women will try to coach men, but we're not really all that coachable. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed this, but it's hard to teach an old or even a young dog new tricks or any tricks.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have an intro today because how you're thinking is how most people think about sex, and I had several failed marriages. Maybe not as many as you. I didn't have 9, but many failed relationships and 2 failed marriages. And my last marriage, I was really willing to do anything to save it. And I came across a book called Cupid's Poison Arrow, in which the woman had basically not accepted that intimate relationships are just doomed to fail, because it seemed like either they start out great and they fizzle out sexually, or they stay sexually great, but they fizzle out emotionally and they just become emotional time bombs and roller coasters. So it seemed like it was these 2 scenarios, and there wasn't a way for us to be harmonious and stable long term. And she just would not accept that was so. She's a lawyer and researcher. And to make a long story short, in her book or in her research, what she discovered is that we actually have 2 programs for lovemaking. One is for bonding and one is for making babies. And
See, now that is I would agree with that. I definitely would agree with that. But there is a big part of our segment of our population right now. I'm assuming you're in the United States, right?
Yes, I'm in Arizona.
Yeah. But it seems like there's a accent, like you're not from here, right?
I'm German originally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Steven really gets turned on by accents, so try to keep it supplemented a little
So,
bit.
which side of the wall? Which side of the wall are you from? I'm just teasing because that would be Berlin. That would be specifically Berlin.
Oh yeah,
but.
now we're
Oh,
talking.
yeah. So where was I? So yeah, big part of the our population feels like there's only one aspect to that, and sex is only for procreation. But I do think, there's the other extreme where it's not even about bonding; it's just about pleasure. That's strict hedonism. So there's three different philosophies here. Sex is either for the two things that you mentioned, procreation and bonding, or it's procreation and just a flesh party. That kind of
Yeah, or you lost a bet, like in my first marriage.
Yeah, but there's places where they're always banging for like babies and religious reasons. You can go to those areas and they have the highest concentration of sex shops anywhere. Like in Florida and down south, they're everywhere.
Missouri, yeah, the show me
Excuse
state.
Ron, they like to call them Baptist churches. So
yeah, they're
that's
so
true,
fucking
actually.
repressed. They're so repressed.
But do you agree that attitude, what you just expressed, or philosophy that you just expressed, that there's really two aspects to what sex is supposed to be for us, that is not in the majority right now, at least in this country right now. It feels like we are more towards the Puritan. It's all about procreation.
Yes, and I mean, I believe, if you were the people in power and if you needed to find a way to subdue the people, you would take something like sex and make it super confusing, where it was not something that you should do for pleasure or bonding or joy, or it's only for making babies. And at the same time, it's something that we all have to do, right? So it's hugely confusing. And then people just end up having babies after babies and just keeps. When you have one baby after another, your life is basically spent working to feed those mouths, right? So it's, in my mind, I believe that the religious leaders of the world have made this purposefully confusing and disempowering, so that we're just busy, slaving away basically, and there's no uprising or anything because we're just too exhausted from having to feed all the babies.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I think it's a big part of creating more workers and soldiers too. I mean, that's not an original idea. I got that from George Carlin, but it resonates completely with me. Is that it's all about creating more soldiers and workers for to serve the
machine.
Yeah.
Well, during the last administration, people started banging less because they seen how bad the world was getting. And birth rates have steadily fallen in this country, and they're not going to get any better, especially with these guys out there banging those young teens. It's like save some for the rest of us.
Yeah,
Ron, but is it possible that people are still having sex in the same amount, but the reason why the birth rate is low is because all those alpha males just have low sperm counts, and that's why they're compensating with guns and Corvettes and stuff like that.
You mean you're talking about our newscaster, right?
Dick Gisman?
Yeah.
He's got that alpha hairstyle going for him. So.
Carolyn, did I do you a disservice here? Because I went to your website and pulled the book, but this book does not look like it says the Bliss Code. It looks like it's
this is my first book, and it is about sexual trauma healing. So it is definitely connected to the subject. I have a copy of the Bliss Codes here, and
all right, let me pull this one down. Yeah,
Bliss Codes look like this.
Okay, this is your book. You have the little tabs in it. Is that so when you do interviews, you can actually pull to a page in particular and talk about something, or were you researching your book for this show?
No, this is the version that I still had to edit before it finally went to print. Because English is my second language.
Okay, so that's like a collector's item then.
Yes, hopefully it's going to be auctioned for millions at some point.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I'm going to do that. I'm going to auction off my notes from today's show for $1 million, people.
You're welcome.
$1 million. My notes from today's show. We're selling these for $1 billion.
Would it be a 1.2 million, or that 2.2 is nothing to you? Because that's the kind of money you just throw in a river.
Well, here's the
He
deal.
is Gene Cooperson. He's trying to steal money from people.
If you buy today's notes, I'll throw in yesterday's notes and the day before's notes. I'll throw in all 3 weeks, all 3 days. Yes, it's a 3-for-1, or what we call BOGO.
So, Carolyn, are you married now?
I am in what's called a sacred union, so I'm not legally married because I don't believe in making contracts with the government. So, yes and no, in a sense.
Good for you. I
ring on my finger.
I think we should go back. I'm not like everything needs to go back, but one idea could go back to: you don't need the government to sanction your marriage. All you need to do is say, "I love this person. I'm living with this person. We're married."
Yeah.
But the purpose is for the transfer property and value.
You could do that. You could do that without the government.
I'm actually more interested in having now, at my age, in my ripe age of in my 40s, I actually want to have a relationship that works, and so I did spend my entire life trying to figure out how to make it work.
I'm taken, Carolyn. I'm taken. Sorry. But thank you for the offer. I thank you. Yeah.
When he says taken, he means he escaped the government. That's something.
So I believe when people get married that they think by giving each other the promise, they create something sacred and it will just last a lifetime. And in my experience, that doesn't work. And so we actually have daily practices that have to do with lovemaking. And in our relationship, that's the commitment. We're committed to these practices that the book talks about.
I want to say I've been married 24 years, and like when we originally got married, I think the reason why our marriage works so well is because like when we got married, I never looked at married as an institution, like this really matters to me, or like because I'm not a big God believer or anything like that. So I never looked at marriage like, oh, this sanctifies, it means so much to me. I figured, well, we're doing this for tax purposes.
That's exactly why we did it too, was because, dude, I was the same boat. After a 9-year failed marriage, like I didn't really have any interest in doing it again. But between the tax purposes and then, of course, like, my benefits and shit, it made more sense to do it just financially. But like overall,
I have the lamest excuse. First of all, my father on his deathbed, my girlfriend at the time was standing next to me. My father said he wanted us to get married, and then everybody said, "Oh, look, they get married!" Like I didn't propose; he did. He's dying. He seems delirious. Don't listen to him.
No pressure there.
Yeah.
I know my marriage, my current marriage, actually, my wife and I both had a failed marriage before, so we both had a divorce. And the only reason why we got married was because I got pregnant. If I had not gotten pregnant, we'd still be just living together.
I'm speechless. I mean, I'm
I know you're speechless, but it's honestly, it's just how he operates. He's a power bottom, and that's why he gets this alpha male mentality. So
that response is what people can expect at the Giggle Room on January 24th, Levittown. That's his comedy. It's just like leaves people dumbfounded and speechless and unable to clap or even giggle in a Giggle Room. Ken, do you consider yourself an expert in this? And did you get like I don't know, training in the idea of creating bliss? and where would that come?
6 times certified.
I have never had a different job in my life other than figuring out how to make relationships work. So I became a naturopathic doctor and psychotherapist in Germany when I was 20, and then spent my 20s studying with different people in a modality called family constellations, which helps figuring out deep relationship trauma, and then have had a lot of my own failed relationships, and luckily they've gotten better and better. So
wow.
But then really the turning point came with the Cupid's poisoned arrow. So
So the question I have for you now, this is I'm sure you've been asked this before, but in every like when love is new, when you first fall in love, whatever, however you want to characterize it,
Yeah.
it's easy to be ecstatically happy or happy all the time, but time they say time heals all
Wounds
wounds. It
all
also
heals.
yeah, wounds all heals. Time heals all wounds, but it also can make you like hate each other
Yeah.
all the time.
Do you know why that is?
Why?
Well, because we
Familiarity
have
breeds contempt.
yes, and it has to do with our neurochemicals. So when something is new, our brain releases dopamine, and dopamine makes us feel really good and excited. But the problem is that uh, dopamine is released by novelty. So when the novelty wears off, the dopamine goes away, and we kind of don't feel the same thing. You know, you've all had the experience of wanting a bicycle or something new, and once you've had it, it was like, So it's the same thing with relationships, and to avoid that, we really have to learn about our neurochemistry and learn to make love in a way where once the honeymoon feelings and the dopamine cocktail goes away, we still know how to help or trick our brain into those good feeling chemicals, basically.
I
Well,
thought
no. So you brought
I'm a
up the
nerd.
bicycle. You brought up the bicycle thing, and I remember my first bicycle. After the thrill of me having a bicycle wore off after about 2 weeks, I just took the seat off and rode it that way. That gave me a whole new
I wonder
Go
if
to the
you
power bottom.
a whole
Yeah, no
new
wonder you're ready to birth a
sensation.
baby soon.
Well,
I should
that's
have done that. That would have been easier. Probably would have made it easier. I was nauseous for 9 months with both my kids because I had so much anxiety about how they're gonna get out of me. So I should have done your bicycle method.
yeah,
But
like
you also have to talk to one another as well too, because
come on.
Gotta
like
communicate, man. That's
I'm lucky. Like my relationship is good because me and my wife we about
just-
every
Sign
night.
language.
Well,
So
you're talking about communication, and you can't even say relationship. You said relationship. Relationship. You said relationship. That now, no wonder it's easy for you to communicate. You just sign language, like you said. I guess that's how you
yeah, but he
communicate.
could be across the room and just be like, and she's like, all right, let's go. Let's go.
All right.
So Carolyn, you said that English is their second language,
Yes.
but you speak it very well. So how long have you been speaking
Better than
English?
Ron.
And how good is your German? Because if this is your
Bad.
second language,
Oh yeah. You
It's embarrassing. I've been here for 20 years. I hated English growing up. I never thought I was going to speak it. My dad is an English teacher. He wanted to, he's always like, you should be speaking English better. Now I speak English better than him, but my German is terrible. It's awful. It's
Wow.
hard to
is it because,
explain.
is it because you're out of you haven't practiced because you don't have enough German people around you to practice, or is it because of a deep-seated shame because of what our country is now doing with a revival of Nazism?
Probably a little bit, but no, it's because I think in the English sentence structure does not go with the German sentence structure. So when I want to speak German, I speak it in English sentence structure, and the Germans just look at me like, "What did you
Oh
just
yeah,
say?"
yeah. I know
Yeah.
someone who grew up with French, and they speak English, and they'll speak English, but it's translated. It's like word for word from French to English, and so some of the words are out of order.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my German now.
Wow, that's great. I mean,
yeah.
not for you per se, but I mean,
No.
to me, it's fascinating as a pseudo linguistic person.
Yeah. So but coming back to this making bliss last, or that feeling, bliss, I don't know, infatuation stage of a relationship is where I think that's a good question. How do you define bliss? Because in my mind, obviously I just I put my cards on the table there. Not David Tell, who was up there. I equate what you mentioned, what you call bliss, with the infatuation period, where you're just idolizing her. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. I can't wait to, whatever.
Yeah,
But
I
that
don't. I equate it with stability and productivity and just peace and harmony, lots of playfulness, lots of fun, being in sync. And
is that a gender difference? Do men and women see bliss differently?
I mean, you could ask my partner, but I don't think he sees it differently. He has become a very lighthearted. We both have become very lighthearted people through this practice. and very fun to be around. And unless I'm on my period or he's on his period, then it looks a little different. And sometimes we have it on the same time, then it gets really bad. But other than that,
Wow. All right. A little TMI there, but that's fine.
for the show it seems fine. but like, to be serious, it really has to do with the dopamine in our brain, and then oxytocin, because we have two reward centers in our brain. One is with the dopamine, which puts us on roller coasters and makes us grumpy and all kinds of stuff if we don't get it. We also have a reward center that releases oxytocin, and the oxytocin in our brain or in our blood makes us feel really happy and relaxed and pleasant to be around. So
You mean dopamine? Because oxycodone, I thought we had to get a script.
oxytocin, not
Oh,
See, I
excited.
thought
I think-
oxytocin. I thought oxytocin was a person who was born with 2 less toes than everybody else.
Nah,
No, but now you're being
I guess you learned
oxymoron.
something. An
I
oxymoron.
have no idea what he's talking about. But then he doesn't even have any idea what he's talking about either. So we're all on the same page.
Thought you learned something new today.
All right. I did not know that. Well, thank you. Yeah, so making it last, because GD was talking about his bicycle. And this is a good analogy for me. The bike is new and shiny, and you fantasize about how good a ride that bike is going to be.
Yeah.
And then you ride it a couple of times, and okay, it was great. It was
Yeah.
great, but every time I ride it now, it's a little less great than
Yes.
the fantasy I had built up in my mind about it.
Yeah.
Ron's shaking his head no. He's got a new bike. Well, Ron, I just want to say Ron's secret to staying happy, I don't know if you know this, but it's cheating on his wife daily. I mean, he just finds a new, basically. He finds a new bike to ride every single day. He goes out to the library, robs a bike. But go ahead.
No, just some of this makes me laugh because it just, my relationship is nothing like this, and
We don't have that problem either.
You can ride the same bike forever.
So here's the thing: if you have learned to actually enjoy pleasure in the moment, and some couples find their way there automatically. 13% of long-term couples find their way there. You are actually so oxytocin gets released by pleasure in the moment. Dopamine gets released
sound like
by
oxycodone.
I think that's what you want to hear.
Maybe. I just now I want to get high. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Please continue.
That's what I call schlong division.
That was me. It just comes out.
You know that it's like 7 something for me in the morning, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. You were saying. Do you remember what you were saying?
Yeah, I was saying that the dopamine gets released by anticipation, like the new bicycle stuff, right? Oxytocin gets released by enjoying the ride. So some people find their way naturally there, some people don't. And it really has to do with different brains, also on how brain different works. But there's ways that you can train your brain so that it releases the oxytocin. And in that, when you can do that, your bicycle will feel awesome every day. And it's really just your brain chemistry. I know it sounds very simple and very simplified, but
yeah, but here's the problem. New bicycles are being advertised every day and all over media everywhere. And it's like, wow, look at that one. That's a nice bike.
But if your bicycle feels so good.
Yeah, but
you're
that
not
one
even tempted.
looks like brand new.
Yes.
Shiny.
Yeah.
I want to ride that one.
Yeah, but like I said,
I want to ride it far.
but
I want to
like I
ride it across the country.
if you also do want to be productive in your life and don't have so much drama, some of us get very motivated to maybe stay away from the shiny objects and go for something more lasting.
I think it comes back to you value stability.
Yeah, I also value creating something in my life and not getting it torn up every few years.
And I would think, no, I'm not I don't want to speak for our chief entertainment correspondent, but I think he would agree with you on that point that he likes stability, obviously 24 years in a relationship, and he doesn't like tearing his life up and starting over in like chaos and stuff. But some of us, and now I'm not saying this is me, but it might be me. Think about it. Some of us love the idea of unpredictability, chaos, throw and that's where we find bliss is in the insanity.
You know,
right?
that's not far off. This took me over a year in therapy to get out of this rotational fucking habit of things would be going good, smooth, happy, and
Yeah.
I'm like, this fucking sucks. And then I'll throw a
Does
wrench
it?
in it, we'll fight, and then there's some chaos, and then there's that angry sex afterwards, which is always good. But I mean, like, there's this thing, like there was a pattern that I was in where things would be great and I'd have to throw a wrench in it because I'm not comfortable without some sort of chaos.
That's true.
And,
Yeah, it's very
and that
common.
was really hard on my marriage because I went from a really bad marriage to a really good one, but I was so used to the bad one that I was like, I need some bullshit in my life.
See,
And
the problem
getting
here
out
is
of that is hard.
we have 3 beta males up there and only 1 real alpha male here.
I don't think you know what you're talking about.
Well,
but
my
you know,
theory is that the beta is the new alpha, by the way. And I've gotten a lot of shit for that, for saying that, because we're like, no. But it takes a lot of courage and strength to be connected to your emotions and show them. And
Well, I think also, like, besides the communication, talking to your partner, which is the most obvious, I think a lot of people get in trouble now because it's so easy to think that there's something right over in the
The
next
grass is
valley.
always greener, is what you want to say.
Yeah, because of your phone. Because of your phone, you have such access to people where it's like, I could see how it could be tough for somebody that they're in a relationship and maybe they hit a bumpy spot. Then all of a sudden it's like, well, I'm on my phone on some app and I can easily meet somebody. Then the next thing you know, you're in a Motel 6 naked, hanging from a shower, and you're like, how did I get here?
Exactly, man. Dude, cell phones are so bad for relationships. They're so
I'm
bad.
sorry, I forgot to hit a B.
That's that. I don't know how you did that, Ron, because I usually wound up in a red roof. I think your
Roof.
standards are lower than
Hampton
mine.
Inn.
oh, that's what they're for.
Yeah.
I had no idea. See, you're opening my eyes too. But also, if you are really focused on your purpose and you're connected to your creativity and you're doing stuff with your life, I think you don't even. I mean, speaking for myself, I wouldn't even have time to have anything on my side because I'm so busy doing what I love doing. So I think the greater problem is that most people don't know what their purpose is, that they don't know what they want to do with their lives, that they're kind of just floundering or have no directions. And then of course, you look for things that give you some kind of a relief or pleasure or short-term gratification kind of a thing.
Yeah, short-term gratification is exactly. See, most of my life, it's not just in relationships. It's almost every aspect of my happiness is based on those short doses of dopamine. Whether it's performing, whether any place where I find happiness, it's based on these short jolts of dopamine rushes that we get. So maybe that, So
and I mean, the advertising industry knows this. Our whole culture is set up to, our brains are highly susceptible to those dopamine impulses to, visuals and whatnot.
Yeah.
And
so is the bliss codes a one size fit all, solution, or one size fits all?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've helped couples that have had sexless marriages for, 10 years, 20 years. We've had people that have physical problems where they can't have intercourse. We've had young couples that don't, they want to make their relationships last. We've had people that have had failed relationships and want to make sure their next relationship doesn't fall apart. So
yeah, well, I hear you, but people are different though. Like Ron, Kane, and I are very different people. Like I would never wear a red hat with a gray beard. I just don't think they go together. But so we're very different people. He enjoys like watching people get put to death, and I don't know, all those kind of things, like just little subtle little things like that. So we're not the same people. So it's difficult for me to understand how there could be one size fits all.
Because of the brain chemistry, all our brains have the same mechanisms in a sense when it comes to dopamine and oxytocin. And some people are more hooked on the dopamine than others, So, but in terms of oxytocin making us feel good and relaxed, and in terms of dopamine making us agitated and disinterested over time, it's the same.
So,
but for example, would this work cross culturally? Like in some cultures, because the culture kind of like, in a way, either helps, or either combats or accentuates our body chemistry. So if you're, let's say, South American, yeah, you still have the same effects of the dopamine and stuff. But if you're so used to being like this quote fake macho man, or whatever that culture says, or even in Russia, where everything is like, I'm so thick and thick, whatever, blah blah. No, then it just seems like it would take a little bit more.
Yes.
Or so I just wonder, does it work cross culturally? Is what I'm trying to ask, basically.
It does, and generally speaking, people will come to this when, like me, when I was really desperate and had tried everything, and I was willing to try anything, right? Because so if somebody doesn't have pressure to change, this will not make sense because it's a fairly radical practice. But if somebody really, really wants to change because they love each other and they want to save their marriage, or they are single and they really want to be in a relationship and want to figure out why it didn't work in the past. So if there's motivation from past pain or current pain, that's basically the deciding factor, I would say, how open people are to this and how willing they are to make the changes, because it is a departure from what we know, and it is embracing something really different.
So, for example, if you were like a Russian guy, then chances are, even though you're maybe miserable being a Russian, to actually want to be in touch with your feelings goes against everything you've been taught to be a Russian man. And I'm only picking on Russians because they're inferior. It's nothing personal, but but if you're a Russian man and you think that all this is important, you may have a terrible relationship because you culturally is discouraged to get in touch with your feelings.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about like the dirty Irish Catholics,
I never talked about a dirty Irish Catholic, by the way. This is go ahead.
Well, like my wife identifies as Catholic without the ick, but like it's sometimes it takes a little bit of prying to get her to talk about stuff, because it's that Catholic guilt, and especially being part Irish too. I mean, that's a couple negatives right there between the potatoes and everything else that you have to fight through. So,
and the beer. Don't forget
Ron,
about
she
the
also
beer.
doesn't. Ron, let's be fair. She also doesn't talk to you because you don't have any empathy. So,
well, that's why in my practice I have a process like the family constellations where we can help people release those conditions, the conditions, the inherited conditioned beliefs and things like that.
So now let's get back to the book, because we're short on time here, and I want to talk about the book. You had the book, the tabs there. Talk about the format. Is it a how-to book? Like chapter 1, this is what you have to, like lessons or homework or whatever. What is the format?
The first part is really it's more in storytelling format, because people need to understand some of the science behind it. Is the Cupid's Poison Arrow, the book that I found, is 360 pages of one case study or study about the brain after another. It's very hard to read. It's an amazing book. It's if you're nerdy, you will love it. Most of my clients are not as nerdy; they don't love it. So they have been begging me to write a book where they can understand what this other book is actually saying. So in my book, I made it very conversational, very share my story, and then the second part is really the how-to.
Okay.
So and it's very thin, so it's 150 pages, very easy read.
You talk about the brain a lot so far in this. It's my least favorite organ, by the way. But
it's ugly. No wonder.
There are two, and one of them is my favorite organ, at least in the male.
Captain, is that the one that they use in ELP?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Why do you even pay attention to me? I'm just killing time here. The next part of the question about the book is will it be available on your website? Because Blossom is available on your website. I didn't see that.
It's on Amazon. Bliss Codes is on Amazon.
Okay. Is there a link from your website? Because I have the website in your website in the description, CarolynHauser.com. So they can get there from there. Okay. That's the important part. Is the book
for men or is it for women? I mean, are you
For
trying to?
both. I mean,
Yeah,
ideally, you read it together, because
I
you're
think
gonna have to
women.
practice together. It's not gonna work
Now,
otherwise.
is there a section with smaller words so the men can understand it, or is
Yeah.
it just the same words for both sexes?
It's really it's really big letters, so it's easy to read for.
Well, I think women, and again, this is the misogynist, sexist bastard I am. Um, Women like Ron understand it intuitively, and they're on the
Yeah.
same page with you already. But men like me, I'm really the only man in the room right now. We are the ones who need to be taught these things. It's not like it doesn't come intuitively like people who wear red hats with gray beards.
Yeah. So, do you have a woman in your life that I could give this book to so she
Mm.
could bring it to your relationship?
For the next 10 minutes or so before she's
Well,
packing. She's packing her bags now, and she hears this.
Hey,
But
Maybe for
hey
the next
Matt,
one.
I really don't appreciate how you come in here and dog on me because I am a cocksmith through and through. It's a talent. I live with it. It's my burden. Don't punish me.
I don't know if you know this about me. Yeah. Okay.
The life of a cocksmith is not easy. It's
I
hard.
have to look at it. Can we get a dictionary in here? Can we get
It is glamorous.
all right. So now, how long has the book been out, and have you had feedback from it from people
Yeah.
who? Yeah,
My clients love it because I make them read the other book.
you
And
call them clients.
yeah,
All
or
right, all
yeah,
right.
people that hire me to help them.
Okay.
I'm not that kind of client. Okay.
No, I'm just curious about that. I mean, clients. I don't know.
I run a very serious business.
Yeah.
Dang, now you totally threw me.
I'm sorry.
Ask a question again.
So, but the reviews from the book, people who, because let's see, you can't really say your marriage is fixed, right? It's better now than it was, but no, it doesn't mean it's
Oh,
a
no,
permanent.
no, I am. That second marriage ended, and I have been in a very stable and happy relationship for the last 3.5 years, which is a world record for me, which I've never been in.
I didn't mean to personalize it. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about people who read the book.
Yeah.
Your book has a positive effect on their relationship. It's better now, but sustaining that improvement, because we are, by human nature, we make advances and we 2 steps back and 2 steps forward, 1 step back, that kind of thing, backsliding and all that stuff. Is it something that, I don't know, you have to kind of review every 6 months or something? And
No, ideally it becomes a daily practice, right? Ideally, you really commit to the practices, the specific practices, and you ideally commit to them, and it becomes your lifestyle.
Now, in retrospect, since you've written the book, if you applied it to your first 2 marriages, do you think the 2 marriages could have been salvaged with the book, or do you think they're just so miserable?
He really wanted to be a psychologist. You could tell this, right?
Well, I believe that both those people were not capable of truly bonding, so I don't think. And I had in my second marriage, I suggested these practices, and he ran for the hills. So it only works with people that are very quickly. He threw the book against the wall and ran. So it has to be people that are capable of bonding, and some people.
That's all because if I'd given this book to my first wife and $1 million, we still would have wound up
$0.2 million. Let's be fair.
Yeah, she would have still.
Some people are not capable of creating deep bonds. Yes, unfortunately.
But I'm interested. We do have to wrap this up because we have another guest coming in a minute. But I'm interested in something you just said. I don't know how to paraphrase it because it was like a minute and a half ago in my memory. It doesn't last that long. But you're talking about if you were giving it to these books, they were incapable. Right? I think that's the word.
Yep.
I might be one of those people who is incapable of bonding or understanding bonding. Is that a thing? And am I in the majority or the minority with my incapability?
It just depends. I don't know if you've heard about attachment styles, but there's different ways that it depends on if you were able to attach to one of your parents or a caregiver as a child. And if that wasn't the case, then it's not that it's completely impossible, but you would have to do a lot of healing so that for your subconscious, bonding with somebody would feel safe, right? If
Yeah,
you're not
my parents lost me at a racetrack when I was 3 years old.
that explains it then.
Yeah,
But that's why
definitely.
you never bet on the white horse. You always bet on the black horses at the racetrack. That's everybody knows that. Racing and boxing, you bet on black, plain and simple.
What happened? What does that
What
have
do we
to do
know
with
about
losing your
boxing?
3-year-old kid?
Not in
What do we know
NASCAR
about
though.
boxing?
NASCAR, you bet wide every time.
All right.
Well, that's because they're only whites. No, let me stop.
Yeah, like they said in the Naked Gun. What do you know about boxing? Never bet on the white guy.
Oh, but that wouldn't have been true 2 weeks ago. But okay,
But that wasn't boxing. That was entertainment.
Pageantry.
Yeah, that was the dance.
All right,
of men.
we'll argue about this when in the 2 seconds we have between guests here. Carolyn, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for not running away. You're very courageous to hang with this.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
You actually got Ron to
When
speak.
you come back, bring a sample man with you that we can see how like a before and after man.
Okay.
A man before the book, and then bring him back after the book.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, we owe you because you've gotten Ron to speak more than any other guest has ever.
Wow.
So obviously he was inspired by what you brought to the table today. Will you have something to
More
say,
today
Stephen?
than any other episode for sure.
Yeah. So thank you for being here. We wish you good luck with the book. If you're so inclined, you want to ever come back, even short term, just to keep reminding people about the book and it being out there. Or if you write something else that you publish and you want to let people know about it, please do consider coming back. We enjoyed talking to you.
Or if you get a new bicycle, if you buy a new bike, come back and let us know about it.
Yeah, I might bring my current bicycle with me so I can talk also.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, I don't want to pin you down. But because could be uncomfortable putting out where your
He will pin you down.
coordinates are.
It's a good thing you're over there.
Are you
He
anywhere
will
near
pin you
Bisbee, Arizona?
No, I'm outside of Sedona.
Oh, beautiful. No, there's a big. I know a lot of people down in Bisbee. For some reason, it's an artist community, comedy and music, all that kind of stuff that goes on down there. All right. Thank you for being here. Good luck with the book and CarolynHauser.com, and the link is in the description. Make it easy if people click on it. And hopefully, if you hear some people say, "I heard about you on Mind Dog TV or on Coffee with the Dog," let us know about that. But please do come back sometime.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Have a great day.
Mm-hmm.
Bye for now. Carolyn Hauser, folks. The Bliss Codes. You can get it on Amazon. You can go to CarolynHauser.com. There's a link there. And look at this. We're just jumping around. Look at Ron. He got all lit up. Didn't he get all lit up? His lighting changes.
He's lit AF, bro.
Yep.
Yeah. There was something I wanted to. Oh, so this is the thing with you, TD. You really did want to be a psychologist at some point, right? You asked these deep psychological, introspective questions. You, on some level, you want to give up this comedy thing that's going nowhere for you, obviously, and just become a therapist of some sort, right?
No, I hate that.
That's coming for you.
Hey, we should do the news.
Why is this banner not? I'm not even showing up, but I can't remove it now.
No,
Her banner is.
don't tie off, Rod. Oh God, no!
This one.
Oh,
Right,
he's
there
getting
it
that oxytocin straight to the veins. No.
Oxycodone.
Fucking God.
I'm the only one who's kept hearing oxycodone.
Well, it'd be oxycodone or oxycontin.
It looks like Matt wants to go for a little sleigh ride later.
He wants some oxycontin, Xanax bars,
Well,
Percocet, and Loratel.
before we get
if you want to ride the white horse.
Right.
What was that?
Before we get to the news, by the way, there's some stuff about what we were talking about with Putin wanting people to just become traditional thinkers and all that kind of stuff in there. But our future, in the short-term future, Health and Human Services Secretary says that heroin helped him become a good reader and a good student. He was failing, but then he started shooting up and became a better student. That doesn't matter.
I love chasing the dragon.
Yeah, I love chasing the dragon. But most of the heroin, and I would say all of the heroin users I've ever known, have a difficult time even staying awake. I can't imagine them reading.
That's because they're doing it wrong. What you got to do is when you're because you're having trouble with the English language, you put the track marks in the form of the alphabet. So you're learning your ABCs as you're shooting up.
Let's see if you can get the C today.
Alphabet is one thing, but I can't see them being stoned out on heroin and concentrating on a book because they basically can't concentrate on anything. They fall asleep while they're talking. It's not out.
Come
Looks
into
like
this
narcolepsy.
classroom. We've made it into an opium den.
I haven't heard Ron do the brainworm imitation in a long time. I guess we have 4 years of that coming, right?
It's
4 years
because he's actually the real thing, okay? He's not Ron Kane. He's actually RFK. They're one and the same. That's why you never see him in the same room.
All right.
Thanks, Alex.
All right. Time for news.
No news for you.
No news for you.
No news for you.
Israeli Rabbi Zvi Kogan, who was reported missing in Dubai last Thursday, has been found deceased, officials confirmed.
Tragically, Emirati authorities recovered Kogan's body early Sunday morning, and his family has been informed, the Hasidic Jewish movement Chabad said in a statement. Israeli officials alleged that Kogan was murdered and described his death as a suspected act of terrorism. Kyle Norris reporting.
European Union Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell has urged both Israel and Hezbollah to accept a U.S.-backed truce proposal to halt their ongoing conflict.
Borrell warned that Lebanon is nearing collapse and pledged $208 million to support the Lebanese army. As the EU's High Representative for Foreign Affairs, Borrell called for an immediate and mutual ceasefire alongside full adherence to United Nations Security Council Resolution 1701. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has signed a law prohibiting the adoption of Russian children by individuals from countries where gender transitioning is legally permitted.
Putin also enacted legislation banning the distribution of materials that discourage having children. Both measures, previously passed by Russia's parliament, are part of a broader wave of laws targeting sexual minorities and promoting traditional values. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
Joseph Eckerson. This is the latest news headlines.
What is it? Now, wait.
What's annoying to me is that he's talking about promoting traditional values.
Hold on, make a note. Make a note.
Sugar Foods has issued a recall of its fresh gourmet tortilla strips Santa Fe style after customers found crispy onion strips in their store-bought packages.
The Food and Drug Administration announced that the mix-up resulted in the presence of an undeclared wheat allergen. The crispy onion strips contain wheat, which is not listed on the tortilla strips packaging, posing a risk to consumers with wheat allergies. Liam White reporting.
A Las Vegas man seeking police assistance during a home invasion was fatally shot by an officer, according to law enforcement, and released 911 recordings.
Brandon Durham called 911 on November 12th, saying he was hiding with his 15-year-old daughter after an intruder entered their home, Assistant Sheriff Dory Corin said. In recordings obtained by KBVU-TV, right Durham is heard pleading for help, saying,
all right, make a note, shut up.
Corin identified the officer who shot Durham as 26-year-old Alexander Bookman. Lawrence Keller reporting.
A suspect accused of killing a 20-year-old mother and her 4-month-old son in a Hartford, Connecticut drive-by shooting has been apprehended in Puerto Rico, authorities reported.
Lance Morales, 23, faces murder charges for the fatal shooting on Tuesday, according to the U.S. Marshal Service. Originally from Waterbury, Connecticut, Morales fled to Puerto Rico after the incident and was arrested there on Saturday, officials said. Kevin Sanders reporting.
All right, get off. That's the latest. A couple of notes there. The Putin thing. This is very weird. Why does he care if the baby is being adopted and going to another country, not his country, if it gets a sex change operation or becomes a trans person later on in life? What that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like
he doesn't want any Russians to be trans or gay. Period.
Even if it's not in his country. So, like if it was in the Amazon rainforest, would it make a difference to him?
I mean, in his brain, it probably does. I mean,
realistically,
no, but
here's the thing. He's so concerned about traditional values, okay? The traditional value in Russia was they would kill their czars, okay? That's it. So he should respect traditional value, and he should have been dead by now.
Right. Good point.
Yeah.
And I don't say that to you often, but good point.
That's why they're the inferior race. That's why Russians are the inferior race.
This idea that he wants to shut down people who, I don't know, encourage people not to have children. I don't know if that's what they're doing. They're not saying you shouldn't have children. They're saying I didn't have children and my life is much freer because I don't have to fucking watch kids all the time. I can do what I want with my life. That's my choice. Nobody's saying you have to do that. But he wants to shut down people saying I'm happy without kids. I'm not supposed to say that.
Yeah, it almost sounds like he wants people to have babies and then people not to adopt the ones in orphan care so he can turn them into soldiers.
Yeah. It's
the program makes sense.
Yeah, people dialed 911. It's just so fucking.
Dude, I love dialing 911.
We have a MAGA fan on governors. Some guy named Tex, and he says, "Who is ever going to hear?" Oh no, I admire you losers for sticking with this. Who is ever going to hear about anything from this show? So I wrote you for one because he's obviously listening.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that guy that's named Tits, are they a nice pair of tits?
Is it Tits or Tex?
Well, his name is Tex Fartson, so I think it's not a real name.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Tits, I hope you have a nice pair. Tits.
Keyboard warrior. Another keyboard warrior. I'm a keyboard warrior.
Hey, if our guest isn't going to show up, I could do showbiz before I have to get out.
It looks like our guest isn't going to show up. I'll give her another. Well, so we're going to start calling her unsuccessful toy if she doesn't show up, or
erotic toys.
It's possible. Oh, is that her? Is this her now? Well, that's an unsuccessful. Yeah, well, I'm not sure what brand that was, but I don't know.
She is a nice young lady.
I hope it wasn't really cold beer. I'm getting what is this? Oh no, please don't be what I think it is. Okay, get away.
Oh, hey, you know how we have the train accident? I have another video here. It doesn't have sound, but it's a fun one, and
all right,
and it's a good for a disaster.
All right, say goodbye to YouTube. Oh, look how white I got! Wow! Ooh, kaboom, kabang, kabing. I gotta unwhite myself here. How do I unwhite myself? I do this right there. I'm back again. I like being black.
Yeah, so it just continues to burn and burn, but you get the idea.
Did those bikers have something to do with that? They look like they were running away.
I don't know, but like when that bus when it just rolls in there, then you get that nice electrical transformer blowing. It's such a beautiful
camera work. You got to sit still so I can see where that cop car is from and see where this actually was.
Policia. So I'm thinking it's like Italy or South America.
See, good for you. You could actually see that.
It's somewhere in South America, I think.
Policia?
Policia.
Didn't look like America to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. See, the translation says stunning footage shows the moment a bus on fire descends unrolled down a small slope, hitting a pole. It happened. Oh, here we go. And Alvarez, yeah.
Wow.
And so far, no injuries were reported. That is
wow.
That's
so
pretty impressive.
So the bus, so like everybody abandoned the bus before it caught fire.
I guess.
What about the driver?
Yeah, the captain is supposed to go down with the ship. He's supposed to like steer it away
I know,
from trouble.
but if no injuries were reported, that would be.
You said no injuries, right?
Yes.
Was there any deaths?
That's true.
Those are the different.
No injuries were reported, and the ones who didn't, the dead people didn't say a thing.
Yeah. No injuries, 11 deaths.
You know what that is? That's because that bus company is trying to keep their incident report down. So trying to say 0 incidents, 0 safety incidents this year. So
My reel, my reel that I made with Tammy Hall just hit 80,000 this morning.
Wow, what?
Nice.
I've never seen what reel. Want to show it here so we know what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'd have to pull it up here on Insta.
Look at me, I got cocaine drug going on, and I don't even have any cocaine.
It's not long, and it's just a nice remix. But
cocaine's never made me do that.
What about Ron Kane? Did he ever make you do that?
Oh, he's given me lockjaw once or twice, but never cocaine jaw. But that's beside the point.
All right. Yeah, Tony Walker, happy Thanksgiving. Why? It's not Thanksgiving. It's the day before Thanksgiving. It doesn't count.
I think today is technically Friendsgiving.
So, what's going on? I can't see nothing.
Oh.
Oh.
AKA Dragon Lady. God's coming for you, lady. God's coming for you and that purple fucking man you got. God.
All right. There's going to be a copyright strike on that music, without a doubt.
No, it shouldn't be, because that music that's used is on all platforms. That's on YouTube. It's public domain music.
Really? Public domain music? How about that?
Yes, that music is on all the platforms and shared across all the platforms.
All right.
It was out of the cap cut.
And if it
I
backfires,
deserve
then
to be crucified anyway. YouTube should just get rid of me. Everybody should get, according to that Kits guy, whatever the fuck his name was. Everybody should just get rid of
Kits
me.
McGee.
Right?
Well, for that one, Matt, they can't say shit to you because that one is you can share across platforms.
Right. So it looks like Toy is not going to be successful in. Maybe I sent her the wrong login too. Could be. So last night, well, let's back up a little bit. 3 weeks ago, I said to the agent about my gig Sunday. It's Sunday evening after Thanksgiving weekend. Probably going to be dead. People are they have the family over for Thanksgiving on Thursday. They get all fat, they fall asleep, whatever. Then Friday is the big let's just spend money stupidly on stuff nobody wants and just kill each other over stuff. And then more drinking. And Saturday more. By the time Sunday night comes around, nobody wants to go out to a restaurant and hear Matt Napo with his dopey little acoustic guitar. It's like, it seems pointless to even have a restaurant gig on Thanksgiving weekend, on the end of Thanksgiving weekend. Oh no, it's going to be good with no more. And this was 3 weeks ago. And then yesterday he was at the restaurant and he mentioned that to the owner of the restaurant, and they decided, yeah, that's right. We're not going to get any reservations for that. So they canceled yesterday. I'm like, I said this three weeks ago. If you would have said it 3 weeks ago, it would have been much easier to accept and say, yeah, but you wait until the week of to actually have this. And why did you even open your mouth at this point? You knew that was going to get it canceled. I don't know. This business with the booking situation.
So do you get you still get like a non-refundable deposit?
No, I don't do that with restaurants. Get like a contract where you have to send me a deposit up front, which is non-refundable. No, I don't do that. I should do that, but I don't.
Are you ready for showbiz?
Ready is a kind of I don't know.
Let's get ready to rumble.
No,
I'm on the clock, so we got to decide.
All right, showbiz. Ladies and gentlemen, now with our big showbiz news.
And now, bringing you the latest in entertainment news from Hollywood, New York, and East Bumfuck, Montana, here's our chief entertainment correspondent, Ron Kane. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showbiz.
Gonna be a dental floss tycoon. Oh,
showbiz,
wow.
Everybody. Yes, it's the day before Thanksgiving, so get ready to open up those throat holes and swallow down all that food deep into your gullet.
You've been reading the Blitz codes, haven't you?
Yeah. All right, let's get moving. So this is Michael Viella, I guess. He's an actor who died yesterday. His most notable role is Slumber Party Massacre. So he is dead at 84.
Never even heard of Slumber Party Massacre.
Well, they made like 3 or 4 of them, and so it does kind of have like a little bit of a cult following, and the search for money as well. But that was his biggest role, so he's dead.
He's dead, and nothing can bring him back.
That's why he died. That was his biggest role, so he's dead. If he had a bigger role, he might still be around.
All right, let's move on. So, if you like The Simpsons, they're doing this weekend on, for Thanksgiving, the game, they're going to have a Simpsons cast for the football game. So it's going to be Bart versus Homer, and they go by the broadcast. They did this apparently last year as well, but it's coming back. And so if you are interested in this, it's going to be on, I guess, Disney Plus or ESPN somehow.
Well, Simpsons are not on broadcast on Fox network anymore.
They still are.
They still are, but their entire catalog is now available on Disney Plus.
I'm just curious.
This is NFL. NFL has a contract with ESPN, not with Fox. Well, no, actually, they do have one with Fox, but that's for NFC games only, right?
I think so, yeah. But yeah, ESPN Plus is owned by Disney, so.
Bart's team in this makes sense because they're from Springfield, Ohio, where the Haitians eat the eating the dogs, eating the pets of the people who live there. But Homer is a Dallas guy, right? That's what it looks like.
Yeah, for this game, yeah.
Have the Simpsons even touched on, because they're from Springfield, Ohio? I'm correct?
Well, they actually I don't think they ever say which Springfield.
No,
in fact, did an episode. It's because there's 4 different Springfields, and they made an episode having people try to figure out which Springfield it is.
Well, and there's an episode where they go up at like the highest point in Springfield, and they look out and you can see all of the Springfields from the U.S. So
yeah. So
they
the
don't really
Simpsons have been on. Yeah, they're like on season 35 or season 36 or something like that.
Yeah, but what I was getting to, did they ever even, because it would just seem logical if it were Springfield, Ohio, them to kind of have Bart eating a dog or a cat or the pet that lives there.
No,
but they don't own any particular state.
Also, on another Simpsons note, the lady who does the voice for Milhouse and a few others, she just retired from the show after 30 plus years.
Wow. So finally, I get a chance to I can finally get some voice work.
And there are going to be auditions to replace her for the voices.
That's going to be, actually, she's been doing those voices so long that there are lots of people out there who can probably, do them as well. It's like, it's like Donald Duck and Bugs Bunny. Those voices have been around for so long.
Yep.
All right, let me hear Bugs Bunny.
So this is Terrifier 3. This is now out on streaming. You can rent it on Prime. If you're looking for a nice family movie to sit down together and watch at Thanksgiving, this is the one. Your kids will love it, and I'm sure they'll have a nice time sleeping that night as well.
How much is a Turk paying you to set up my father? Are you basically what that means in translation is? Are you on Prime's payroll? You're putting this out there like you can rent it on Prime. Are you getting a kickback here?
No, I wish I was, but I am a big fan of small independent films like this that can make such a huge profit on such little production costs.
Yeah, me too. I support that. People getting
and he also likes pancake makeup.
Yes.
Right.
And so if you can milk it. It's the entertainment business, baby.
Wait a minute, that was kind of erotic. I'm sorry.
Speaking of erotic, Momoa 2 opens up this weekend, and so along with Wicked and her, they're going to definitely fill all the Gladiators holes this weekend and probably sink it.
No.
Now, has she aged since the last movie? Because I don't know what she looks. If that's still her, she looks older than I remember from the first movie.
Steven would probably be our expert on this.
Really?
Okay, Steven, have they aged her? the character,
for
lead
this
character
Momoa
in
too, or
Moana.
No, Moana looks this. I mean, she looked the same. I haven't really like paid a whole lot of attention to it just yet, but I'm more interested in the live action one, honestly. So,
yeah. All right. Speaking of live action, Craven the Hunter, starring.
Okay.
All right, take it easy, GD. Starring Aaron Taylor Johnson, comes out on Friday the 13th. This is another comic book movie that takes place in the Spider-Verse. This guy is a character. Blah blah blah. Is anyone interested in this?
Is that his back
I
hair?
am. No,
No,
it's a
that's
lion's mane.
It's a lion's mane.
And-
Is wears as part of his outfit.
Yeah, Craven's cool, man. He's the ultimate hunter. He's the he's hunted all the big animals in the world. Now he's going after the superheroes.
But he's crossed over. He's crossed over to through the comic book. He's crossed over to Black Panther. I mean, the character, not the movie here, but Black Panther, Daredevil, and Spider-Man. So at least, or maybe even Punisher.
Well, he's hunted all of the animal themed characters in Marvel.
You guys blow me away with your knowledge of this kind of stuff. I would never. I'm clueless. But
just for the record, my knowledge of Marvel stops in 1978.
Wow.
Mine starts in 79. Oddly enough, so
yeah.
So that's why Steven's on the show. He picks up Marvel where I left off.
Just one question. Maybe I'm way off base here, but this 3-name guy. First of all, that's a serial killer name if I've ever seen one. Aaron Taylor Johnson. Was he? I'm probably wrong about this. He's not like a child star who grew up. Like I'm thinking Power Tools. Tim Allen or something.
He was
Taylor Thomas.
He was in the movie Kick-Ass. He was in. He's originally Kick-Ass from that movie, from those two movies.
Wow,
you're just doing this to make me feel like clueless. Everything you say just makes me feel like I don't even speak the language. I speak German.
This is Kick-Ass. He's all
grown
up.
I'm impressed.
Have you ever seen the movie Savages?
No.
Oh, check that. If you want to see two hot men bang Blake Lively, and these two gods are on screen shirtless and throwing it all out there, that will definitely move your dick.
Wow. You had me at two hot men banging.
So is this one of those things where if you have that curvature thing, it would straighten it out?
Yeah, maybe you should check it out. It's a great movie. It's called Savages. It's about
comedy. It sounds like
these two drug dealers that have to take on the Mexican cartel, and it is very violent. It's a fucking great movie, though.
Is it streaming, or do I have to wait for it to come on like ABC or NBC or CBS?
You could probably stream it out there somewhere. Just look it up. It's called Savages. It's actually an Oliver Stone movie.
Oh.
Speaking of movies,
there's going to be conspiracies.
Oh no.
David Spade and Theo Vaughn are going to star and produce in a movie called Bus Boys. It's a buddy comedy, everybody.
Yeah, I'm all for David Spade. Theo Vaughn, I can't stand. I just can't stand that guy.
I'm gonna be the one to say it. I think it might work well because David Spade already looks like Joe Dirt, or not David Spade. Theo Vaughn looks like Joe Dirt, right? So, I feel like if his character can match Theo's energy, it'll work out as a good comedy. In real life, I don't think Theo's kind of annoying in my opinion. I think he's a genius in how he does it and how he sells himself and whatever. But I think this will work great.
So you're a Theo Vaughn fan,
and now I know what Theo Vaughn looks like because I had no idea what Theo Vaughn looked like before.
I apologize for that. We should never. I mean, should never have shown his fucking face on this program.
So this is Captain America: Brave New World. Apparently, Disney has ordered reshoots for this movie because test screenings apparently failed and were not great. So they are reshooting scenes for this new Captain America movie, which I believe opens next month. It opens very soon, and they're doing reshoots. Yeah.
I think that's just stupid.
They need this to work because Captain America is kind of like their anchor point for everything after Iron Man. So
yeah.
And Harrison Ford is the Red Hulk.
Reshooting. I mean,
you said the age Red isn't retired and dangerous because he's can't be the color. You can't mean the color. You mean retired and extremely dangerous.
No, he turns red. He turns into a big red Hulk.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is Harrison Ford at his age can't be the Hulk. He could be retired. He could be retired and extremely demented, but he can't be Red Hulk. Can't.
Yeah. Actually, Harrison Ford at 80 years old or whatever he is now, he is going to be the Red Hulk.
CGI.
They made him the one. They made him the one Hulk that can beat the regular Hulk time and time again.
CGI Friday. That's all I got to say. CGI Friday.
Yes. I just want to put this out there. I watched this yesterday. Bones and All is out there on Netflix. Check it out. It's solid. It's
Netflix. I can watch it.
I'm watching that as soon as we're done today.
It's another good hour. I think it's definitely better than Fire in the Maternity Ward. It's definitely a step up from there. The jokes are just fucking great. So check it out. If you like dark comedy, go check that out. Speaking of stand-up, this is Chappelle. So recently at his show, Chappelle had people lock up their phones, and he would not allow journalists to have any access to their notebooks. He wanted no notebooks. He wanted a show that he's just up on stage and can do whatever, I guess.
Is that paranoia?
I don't know if it's paranoia. I think he can do this, and I kind of like it because he's telling people, don't bring your fucking phones. Just put your phones away. Enjoy the show.
I get that for patrons, but journalists are there to do a job and report on the show. I mean, that's where it gets a little weird for me. I mean, that's their job, is to not really just sit there and just laugh, and they're not paid. The paper or whoever they're working for isn't paying to have a good time. They're paying them to report on it.
Well, I think it makes sense because if you watch his specials, every special gets media attention because there's a joke or two in there that just seems to hit. And I think he's just trying to prevent the journalists from being like, oh my God, this joke that he's working on is so fucking crazy.
I hear what you're saying, but does he not understand that those millions of dollars that are in his bank account are because of that? Because the journalists have sensationalized his thing?
But it's after this joke has come out on a special, not pre it happening.
No. The sensationalism and the reaction starts immediately because journalists go back and they engage in what they think is cancel culture, but it ends up backfiring on the cancelers, and it just makes them bigger. That's the point. Like all those journalists who just write about, he was transphobic, they're putting money in his huge amounts of money in his bank account.
But I'm saying that all seems to happen as soon as his new special drops is when all of that happens. If they get wind of this joke is coming, it could potentially take all the wind out of it when a special drops.
In the last couple of instances, it was before it dropped.
And speaking of surprises, Ari Shaffir has been signed on for 2 Netflix specials. The next one dropping on January 15th. Yeah, I think this surprised a lot of people that Netflix would especially drop 2, give them 2. But apparently it's happening, and the first one is in January.
Did they already film it? Because that's a pretty aggressive.
The first one is already locked and loaded and set for January.
You a big fan of Ari?
I don't know if I'm a big fan. I watched his one Jew from like a year ago, which wasn't bad, but it to me this still seems surprising, but maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah, I like him more than most of the people in the Joe Rogan universe there. I mean, Shane Gillis I like too, but there's very few of that Joe Rogan clique that I really, really enjoy stand-up. But I Ari. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I mean, for the type of comedy that he's doing, I mean, it is good that he's getting specials, I guess,
Oh, yeah.
because it's it's not typical comedy, and he does push, and I do love that about Ari. Ari will push you.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Is that it for showbiz?
Yep. Enjoy the suffering, everybody.
Enjoy your unsuccessful toy. The turkey is running at me.
Is that Teacher Blossom? Because Biden pardoned him, and now he's free to just cause havoc. He's like, I got a pardon. I can kill whoever I want.
Is that the stupidest thing in the stupidest tradition in the world? Is presidents pardoning turkeys?
Blame it on Lincoln. I think he started.
Gentlemen, I will see you later. I got to get going. I'm gonna.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Good luck in court today.
You going to the Red Roof Inn? What I mean.
No, I'm gonna take my wife to go see Wicked though later today.
All right, you're gonna go cheat on your wife again.
Is that what you're calling your penis now? Damn.
All right.
Wicked.
All right, get out. Get out. Look, we threw him out. Let's see how I threw him out. I treat him like a Stephen Ortiz. I just threw him right out.
Okay. Yeah. threw him out like a cripple in a wheelchair. Get out of my bar.
Ron seemed to be more talkative today. Maybe it was the subject matter of bliss. That got him. Listen, German chicks do it for me. I don't know if I told you that ever before, but German chicks do it for me.
Well, I knew German guys. German guys did, but I did not know about German women as well.
Yeah. No, what was her name? Marlene Dietrich. You know,
Marlene Dietrich.
Yeah.
Marlene Dietrich, yeah.
My dick leans a little.
Yeah. So no successful toy. I'm surprised that successful toy did not show up. Not all that disappointed.
Batteries are dead.
They all didn't come with batteries? What the fuck, man?
They shine a light on the positive side of every journey. That's what they do on the Successful Toy podcast.
Well, she got lost on her journey here.
Right.
She should have had a brighter light because she got lost on her journey here.
Maybe she fell in a hole.
She fell in.
No light.
All right. So, Stephen, you're doing that open mic in Fort Wayne on Thanksgiving Eve. Is that what you're doing tonight?
Maybe we might be leaving early for in-laws tonight. So it depends on if we leave early or not.
Well, how far do you have to go? Miles and miles and miles before you sleep?
About an hour and a half.
That's not far.
What the hell?
No, it's not far. No. We just might be going early so we don't have to worry about driving in the morning. We can just wake up, get dressed.
What? Why Indiana's got big traffic jams in Indiana in between the cornfields and the cornfields?
Indianapolis sucks, man.
Really?
It does, but they have bad traffic too.
Yes, really bad. But I mean maybe it'll. I mean I'd like to. So we might go after too. It just depends.
What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do?
About what?
Anything. What am I supposed to do?
Roll a doobie, watch Anthony Jeselnik with the chickens.
The Jeselnik thing will be an hour.
Watch Anthony Chicken Neck with the Jessels.
Mm-hmm. And what is GD supposed to do?
You know, tomorrow?
Oh, tonight. Are you doing?
I thought about doing an open mic so I can test my hybrid show equipment, but I may just wait. Maybe do it. I don't know. I just don't feel like doing something tonight.
I get you. I don't feel like doing anything ever again. I don't feel like doing anything. I just.
No, not that. No, I went out on Monday. The sound was awful with the equipment I had, and I need to figure out what's going on with the sound. But I haven't had a chance to test it to figure out what's going on with the sound. So if I go out tonight, I may have the exact same issue that I had Monday, which means I drove all that time and set up for nothing because I haven't had a chance to even look at the equipment to see what's not working.
Yeah.
Plus, also, it's going to be raining and cold tonight. That doesn't sound fun to go out in either.
Is it going to be that? What's it?
Well, it's already 38 degrees right now, and that's the high for today.
Wow. Let me see what we got here. I hate that Apple changes the look of these icons when I update the phone, because now I can't even tell where my weather thing is. All right. 47 here, going up to 50. Woo! All the way up to 50. Yeah, that's all. It's all. I'm not going to do a show tomorrow. Shouldn't even bother turning it on and open it up.
Take the day off. Call it a day.
Cook a turkey and sleep, and we'll burn the house down while the turkey's cooked. Right? That's the plan.
Yeah. I did pick up a gig yesterday though while we were on the air.
How heavy? Cool. How heavy a gig was it?
Not very heavy. It's in town, but it's it's an all disabled comedians thing at the
cool.
It's called Turnstone. It's like a physical therapy place, but
so this isn't this isn't affiliated with Dormouse then. This is separate.
No, its own thing. Yeah,
because Dormouse I thought was in Michigan, right?
Dormouse is in Michigan. There, yeah. So after I went up for the show I did last week, we're gonna do 2 shows. He's gonna put me on a regular show, and then he wants to put together a show with other disabled comics as well.
All right.
And like I said, he went out of his way. He went out and bought a ramp, had it installed, like fully installed, not like temporarily installed, which was really cool. Like he went completely out of his way just for me to come out to basically try out. You know,
you're going to change comedy accessibility to stages and comedy one venue at a time.
Well, there's 2 ways to do it. I can either A, take the route of going to a club and shitting on them when it's not accessible, or B, go out, put on a good show and show them, hey, it's worth putting on a ramp because you're going to get more talent coming in. So
yeah, but seriously, what are the odds of you putting on a good show?
Depends on the ramp. If he's exhausted trying to get on the stage,
it depends on the ramp.
The ramp is the key to the show.
Yeah, because if you have a good ramp, he can get up on the stage easily, and he's not winded from making it to the stage, so he can actually just focus on the thing. But if he has to like climb up the stairs and fight all this stuff, by the time he gets up, he's gonna be like, "I'm Steven the sitcom Ortiz."
That's how Stephen Hawking lost his voice.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I don't think he ever had his voice to lose, right?
He did for a while.
Yeah,
he was normal until like his 20s, and then it kind of hit him out of left field. And
yeah.
I forgot about the Ben Shapiro thing.
What?
I forgot about the Ben Shapiro thing.
Okay. I'm wondering if you think we'll learn who all these comedians are.
What?
Ben Shapiro is another comedian. I have no idea who he is, or I don't have no his material or anything.
I don't think he knows his material. Let's see. Will it work? Will it work, Ben? Oh yeah, something happened. I heard a bing bing bing. Didn't you hear a bing bing bing?
No.
I thought that was gas. I was about to say excuse me.
Could have been a gas. It could have been Jumping Jack Flash. It's a gas. Yeah, so I made Scott, because with that gig that got canceled, first he asked me if I could make it a duo, and I like, no, I'm not. The girl's going to be away. I don't know. I'm not calling Cat out to Port Washington. So I got Scott to say he would do it, and then I sent him this long list of songs to learn, and made him learn like 50 songs, and then it got canceled after he learned all 50 songs.
So you're available on the 24th now.
I might be. It's looking like I might be. And if I am, this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. It might be a good idea. I don't know how you feel about this, but to actually videotape it. I don't want to be part of the show in any way. Like I don't want to, but it might be a good idea for me to come and videotape it and get like something worthwhile out of it. No or yes?
Sure. I'm going to try to make it available to Plausible as well. If I get all my stuff working, I'm gonna try to put it on Plausible. My wife wants to see it as well. So
yeah,
and then the whole Coffee with the Dog crew will still be at the show. It'll be cool.
It wouldn't totally suck. I don't know about cool. Cool is not something I don't really know about cool. I really just don't know about cool. Cool's not my specialty.
I don't
Hold
know.
on.
I've seen some of the photos and videos of you. I think you know what cool is.
Where the hell is Ben? Ben, the two of us. Ba 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 ba. Ben, what the fuck, Ben?
That was one of those movies when we came out. We said, why the fuck is he singing about a rat? It's like a love story about a rat. This takes bestiality to like a whole new encouragement.
I made Mikey sing Ben to Ben. We had a subdrummer.
That'd be fun. You see what Ron just said? Can we record an episode with all of us in the room?
That means sticking around an extra day.
Yeah, that would in the green room. We could probably do like before the big before.
Well, here's the thing. I plan on leaving. I plan on driving out the night before. Like I'm leaving late at night, basically. So I roll in during the day. So I plan on being in town fairly early before the show. So, and then I'm gonna get a hotel outside of town on the way home that night. So,
what do you mean outside of town? Levittown or New York? I mean, when you say outside of town, do you even know who you are?
Well,
with the dog, just unbearable, incomprehensible, just the stupidest key of trash ever on the internet or anywhere for that matter, and it will make your children communist and probably transsexual or something.
What?
Now, are they making people talk real fast like that so they can avoid like lawsuits or something? You know, it's like, see, this isn't exactly an impression of you because listen, you don't talk like this. This is a lot faster.
I think he's trying to sell you a used car. That's what it feels like. Like, yeah, it's only been driven by a little old lady from Pasadena. I mean, only on Sundays. That's why. It just feels like it smells like dishonesty, doesn't it?
And teen spirit.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Stephen was saying something when Ben really rudely interrupted him.
He's talking about a hotel outside of town, and you was going,
what do you fucking mean? What the fuck do you mean?
So I looked up hotels like in Levittown. Yeah, they were expensive as shit.
I'm sorry. Did you say hotels in Levittown?
Yeah.
You don't even know what Levittown is, do you? You don't even know what a Levittown is, do you? You don't even
New
know.
York.
You don't even know what a Levittown is. See, you should know what a Levittown is.
I thought it was Levite Town. I thought it was like one of the tribes of Israel.
This is an indictment of the American educational system, ladies and gentlemen. Levitt was a guy, and the town is named after Levitt. It's Levittown. It was the very first suburb after the war. It was the town. Most of America is modeled after Levittown. Suburbs. There was no such thing as a suburb. It was you either lived in a city or you lived in a country. Levittown was the very first experiment in suburban development, a sort of small city next to a big city type of idea. That's what Levittown was the very first one of them, and you don't even know that. You don't even know what a Levittown is.
I don't. I'm ignorant to the Levittown.
Right.
Yes.
It's where Bill O'Reilly grew up.
Okay. Mr. Do It Live,
So,
right?
We could do it live, and we could also learn how to rape women.
Oh,
but you also learn how to pay them off so you don't get to talk about it.
Right. But so there are no hotels in Levittown. So it's like Sam Harris. Wow, Sam. That was a Freudian slip, wasn't it? Sam Talent, when he came to Levittown, his astonishment of he could just like walk across the street and be in a different town. Levittown is, yeah.
Yeah, everything. They're not in Levittown. Like this one says, Bethpage, Hicksville.
But is it a hotel or is it really? That's why I laugh because
it's Days Inn by Wyndham, Extended Stay America, Econo Lodge,
it's a motel.
Long Island
It's
Marriott,
yeah,
the Selby Courtyard.
Yeah.
Best Western.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that's it.
So when you say out of town, you mean like Hicksville, which is right next to Levittown, or something like that.
I just need something cheap for the night.
Right, you type in the address, you find out what's nearby. You know.
Yeah.
You're not a Long Islander. You're not from around here. You're not.
Look, you can do the same thing in Baltimore. You can say, I want a hotel in Baltimore. If you're close to the edge of Baltimore, you'll have a hotel that's literally right across the street from Baltimore, and it's in Baltimore County.
Right. Yeah. Long Island, even though we have town names and city names and all this stuff, it's just one long fucking strip
Island.
of fucking suburbia.
It's one long island.
Yeah, it's one long strip of suburbia is what it is on a
So
Long
how did
Island.
the Long Island iced tea get made? Did they have the iced tea first, or was it the Long Island first? You know, did they name the island after the drink, or did they name the drink after the island?
Good question.
And who is the person who decided that was going to be the flavor to represent the island?
I think it was Henry Hudson who named it. He said, well, this is a long fucking island. And then at some point they took the fucking out of it. And so there's no fucking here anymore. But Henry Hudson.
Oh, the rest of you got
came down the river from wherever, like Montreal or whatever. He came down the river and he got to New York and he said, well, what's next? And they said, well, that. And then he got over to Brooklyn and Queens. He said, well, where does it end? Way the fuck down there. And then, wow, that's a Long Island. And it's stuck. That's my history lesson for you today. Oh,
so
yeah.
It's stuck. Kind of like the people that live in Long Island, they're also stuck. They just they tried to leave, but it's a really long island, and nobody thinks to go the other direction the short way.
Right.
Left.
So it will be interesting if you guys are even able to find governors in Levittown because it's kind of hidden. They did their best to hide it from the public.
Okay, I'm cool with that. Look, I found Soul Joel's. I mean, yeah, it took me a little extra effort, but I found Soul Joel's, and so if I can find Soul Joel's and other places, if I can find a fucking telephone pole in the middle of the woods with only a pole number, I can find a comedy club that's designed to make business.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you can.
That's
we'll
how
see.
I made my living. I made my living finding shit that people couldn't find.
Well, you might find the building, but you'll probably say that can't be a comedy club. It doesn't look like.
It doesn't matter as long as I find.
It looks like a fucking deli. No, it doesn't. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You don't even know what a deli looks like. You don't even know.
Oh, I know what a new deli looks like. I haven't seen the older ones, but I do have seen the new deli, and it's.
Should I get off Govs now with 3 minutes to roll before Tony does his knock him dead, or should I just kind of risk running into his show and then make him?
I think you want to let it go now because you're starting to say disparaging things about their clubs.
What? That it looks like, he's the one who told me. No, it's right next to a great breakfast place, like the door to where you go to see Tony. Like this little nook and cranny where Tony is. You got to go almost through, like. I don't know, like a drive-through deli type of thing, but they have great bacon and egg sandwich. Now, egg sandwiches is kind of a Long Island thing because when Sam came to town, he was like, "What's this obsession with egg sandwiches?" We're big on egg sandwiches, but so Tony, you have to drive to the egg sandwich thing.
Everybody has a chicken. This is, as a matter of fact, unless I'm mistaken, I believe Long Island was the inspiration for a chicken in every pot.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about my history.
The question where you should stay, you should all stay at Tony's house. That's where you should stay. You should all actually sleep in the same bed with Tony.
I talked to Tony's wife, and she was okay with that, but Tony didn't want the competition.
You know why she's okay with it? Because she moved out. Like I think Tony split up with his wife like over a year ago, 2 years ago.
No, they're back together. Don't you keep up?
Are they?
Well, as far as where we should stay,
I didn't even know he had a wife. I was just talking out the side of my ass.
Oh,
not even with the crack,
if he's asking for a recording in the room together, we can go anywhere, really. I mean, if you guys stay somewhere closer,
cool. Anywhere.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Recording it.
What are you talking about?
Can we record an episode with all of us in the room?
We could use Gov's podcast studio to do that. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
What a doofus. You dopey doofus.
No wonder there are UFO sightings going crazy yesterday, because you're just spending your time creating doofus stuff for your doofus UFO friends, right?
I don't have any UFO friends.
What do you mean?
Well, he doesn't have any friends. The ones
All right, I got to say goodbye to Gov.
Unidentified friends over here. That's what
Wait,
UFO
did I already say
stands
goodbye
for.
to Gov? What happened?
Yeah, I
Gov
got you
gone?
3, and then I got one other person somewhere who's unlucky, and that's